This is Andy Purwell. Boxing News. I'm joined by trainer Shane McGuigan here in London. Shane, you're a very busy man this weekend. Talk me through your dilemma. How are you going to get across from Wembley to York, or from Ellie Scotney defending her world title to Caroline Dubois looking to pick up her own?
Yeah, it's not an ideal situation really, but there was talks of a body double, but no, they couldn't find someone big enough, chubby enough. So listen, it's just one of them things. Not an ideal situation for us, but you got two broadcasters, that want that date, and then you've also got two promoters that want that date, and you've got two fighters that want that date as well. So we're thankful that it's in. They're both in London, and we can make it work.
So how do you make it work then? From what my understanding is, Ellie going earlier on in the night, and obviously Caroline headlining here.
Yeah, Ellie's going on earlier, and we'll be in the car or on the tube, depending on the traffic, straight away really afterwards. And Chris is going to be working the comms for the main event, so he's actually going to be free. So he'll chaperone Ellie, make sure she does her drug tests and look after her, and then Jake, myself, and Jumbo, the cutsman in Johnson, we're all going to jump in the car and go. My dad and Josh Pritchard are going to be holding fort at York Hall with Caroline.
Let's just start off with Caroline as we're here now. What do you know about her opponent? What are you hoping that Caroline shows to come through with that victory?
Yeah, listen, she's a very good opponent. She's just got a draw against Estelle Mosley, 2016 gold medalist at the Olympics, at light welterweight as well, super lightweight. But both of them are really lightweights. So she's come down to box Caroline for the IBO, and she dropped Estelle Mosley, her opponent did, in the 5th round in the fight, and hurt her throughout the fight. So she was quite a heavy-handed girl. I think when she was boxing at the start of her career, she wasn't getting as many stoppages, but she was boxing at a lighter weight, so maybe going up has actually given her more power. And it's one of them. I mean, she doesn't fight with like severe attritional pace, but she will press the fight, and I think it's one that Caroline's going to have to be really, really switched on for. But she's looked brilliant in the training camp.
And obviously Ellie Scotney over on the other side of London. Walk me through her fight. What are you hoping that she shows to come through with that victory as well?
She's got a tough nut. She's got someone that's had 8 losses, but forces the fight all the time. Is going to come to Ellie, and the thing is like we know what we're going to get with her, but also we know that we're going to be in a hard fight. So she's going to have to stick to her boxing, stick to her guns, and turn the screw round by round, rather than going out the blocks early and getting into a hard fight too early on. It's about being sensible and sharp, and hopefully she gets a chance to showcase her boxing ability, because she had to go and get, even with the European champion, she had to go and get her. We thought that girl was going to come to Ellie, but really she had to go and take it to her. So I think this fight on Saturday is going to allow her to use her boxing ability, not stand on the back foot, but sort of walk her opponent onto shots, and I think it's going to be a good showcase of what she's really capable of.
I can see CBS knocking about, obviously a lot of talk about what's next for him. Some comments previously or recently from him suggesting Sky don't want to make the Okolie rematch. Where do things currently sit with Chris? Yeah,
I can't really speak on the broadcaster's behalf, and I don't think it's our position to. But we're trying to get out in December, end of November, December. He's been training away. We've got Lawrence Okolie rematch. We've got a mandatory as well that's trying to force it as well. And obviously he's got a keen eye on this weekend, Jay Opatea versus Jordan Thompson. So there's a great opportunity out there. It's just let's get it over the line so we can get it all dialed in.
From these discussions and how things are looking at the minute, when are you hoping to have something officially confirmed by?
I think in the next couple of weeks. I don't think it will be happening up in the next couple of days, but it'll be more a week or two, leave that one down to the promoter.
Shane, obviously this past weekend we had a couple of fights, one over in the UK, one over in the US. I want to get your thoughts on firstly over in Florida. Conor Benn returned. What did you make of his return performance?
I saw the highlights. I didn't get a chance to see. I think tough opponent, wasn't it? Young guy that's coming forward, throwing lots of shots. Big guy for 154 as well. First fight up at 154. I think getting the ring roll stuff.
Obviously, a lot of question marks whether or not Conor's power will carry up to 154. From what you saw, I know it's only highlights, but do you feel like there might be more questions now if he can be as powerful at 154 as what he was at 147?
I think jumping up weight, you do tend to lose that little bit of pop. And it's always, you know, I mean, if they're a real natural puncher, they get a chance to move through. Do you know what I mean? But he's not a massive 147. It's his speed that gets a knockout. So, be interesting to see.
I mean, also over here on the UK side of things, Joyce lost to Zhang Haney. Just get your thoughts on Haney's third round stoppage victory.
Yeah. It was a fantastic shot. Yeah, I think that shot would have knocked out, as I said, 99% of heavyweights. And for anyone to say that, you know, Joyce's punch resistance isn't there is talking crap, to be honest, because he got up. Yeah, he was still on his feet. Was he able to continue? No. Was he looking competitive throughout the fight? No. But he was still there. So, you know, it's never nice to see someone run out of ideas and get knocked out like that. But, you know, he can come again. He just needs to approach things differently.
You just said it's obviously nonsense for anybody to suggest about the punch resistance. Tony Bellew said that he feels like the punch resistance gone without it, Joyce would be beat at British level. Just your thoughts on that?
I can see what he's saying with that comment, in the sense like that is one of his excelling traits. His excelling traits are his teak toughness and his pace. So I get the angle, and people will always twist words. You know, so, but yeah, he's an Olympic silver medalist. You know, he's a European heavyweight champion. Yeah, he's knocked out Takam, which just beat Tony Oka. He doesn't get there. You know, he knocked out Joseph Parker. That has gone 12 rounds with AJ. He went 12 rounds with Ruiz, and you know, no one's done that to him. I know he's a little bit further on in his career, but he completely steamrolled him. So I think it was terrible matchmaking. I just don't think it was a wise decision to box a guy that's equally as big as him, you know, and can nullify his attributes.
Just with Zhang as well, there's a lot of talk about the potential Anthony Joshua fight. What would be your thoughts if we saw Zhang Joshua?
Fantastic fight, because the two of them can bang. AJ's speed is miles better than Zhang's in terms of his fleet-footedness and his ability, and I think it's going to be one of them for AJ and his team. It will be heart in the mouth for however long the fight lasts, because he can punch like mad, Zhang. But you can outbox him. You know, Fury would outbox him, Usyk would outbox him, and I think, so.
I know you've just got to quickly shoot off, so just one final one. Haney-Prograis was announced the other day. Obviously, he was in the corner when Josh fought Regis. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I think the best days of Prograis are gone. I think Haney will beat him on points. I think after his last fight, I like Prograis. I think he's a really good fighter. I think that's Josh Taylor's best win, especially where the two of them were out of their careers. I just think he's just over the hill. You know, he's 34 years of age, I think he is. Born in 88, he might be 35 soon. So it's just perfect matchmaking from Devin Haney, the young buck coming through with all of the traction and all of the hype. It'll be competitive because Prograis can bang, but I think that lies with Devin Haney.
Shane, just picking back up there, obviously I know you had to go and deal with Caroline and her open workout here in London, and we were speaking about Haney-Prograis, and you felt that it's very good matchmaking on Devin Haney's behalf at this stage in Regis' career.
Yeah, he's got everyone right at the right time. He got Linares at the end, he's got Lomachenko at the end, and I think he's going to get... Listen, out of those two I mentioned before, out of the three, I think, you know, Prograis is there or thereabouts in similar decline to Lomachenko. You know, he's still very live, but you know, he's not what he was a few years ago.
Where would you say Devin Haney would rank in the pound for pound rankings if he comes through back with a victory?
I think you've got to put him up there, but I don't think he's in the elite. You know what I mean? I don't think he's up where Inoue is. I don't think he's where Canelo is, or you know, Usyk. You know, like, yes, he's undisputed at 135. Like, if he becomes undisputed at 140, you know, if he beats Teofimo Lopez, then you know you got to give him his props. But you know, I don't think he's there yet.
Just a couple of fights, other fights on the horizon to get your thoughts on before we end this. Buatsi and Azeez, what's your take on that one, Shane?
I like both guys. I think the pedigree lies with Buatsi, but I think, you know, the activity and the resilience lies with, and that's not to say that Buatsi's not resilient. I just think, like, when Aziz's mindset, he's got that CBS mindset where, you know, it's like, well, you're not destined for great things. Like, oh, let me show them, let me prove it. And I think, you know, that is that's a dangerous man to go up against. So I do think Buatsi's going to come through it. I don't think it will be one-sided.
Canelo-Charlo this weekend. It's obviously a tall ask for Charlo moving up 2 weights, but do you think he might upset the odds?
No, I don't think so. I think it does depend on how much Canelo really wants it at this stage of his career. But, you know, he's a multi-millionaire, but he's been a multi-millionaire for years, you know, and he's been able to play golf and do training camps throughout his last, you know, 3 years or 4 years. So, you know, it's whether he's taken his eye off the ball even more, I'm not too sure. But Charlo, you know, traditionally people that have given Canelo problems are people that have good feet and that are movers. And even in someone like Bivol, he might not have been an out-and-out, you know, moving and circling, but he'd stand in front and he'd adjust in and out with his feet, so he wouldn't let Canelo use his little slips in his head movement. Whereas that's where he gets his small margins. So, you know, I think someone like Charlo's style is to stand in front in the pocket and use his size and physicality and punch power. And I just don't think that will be as prominent against a fighter like Canelo, who can just, you know, let you start your shot and then make you miss midway through. But live fight, great fight. You know, Charlo's far too big for 154 in my opinion at this stage of his career, and I think Canelo's not really much bigger than a 160. You know, really he's up at 168, 175 is glorifying himself. At 168, you can see he's a little bit fleshier up there. So, whereas in his best shape is probably 160. So, size-wise, it's an even match.
And final one on fights which have been announced: Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards. What's your take on that one, Shane?
I don't know enough about either, really, to be honest. I think Bam's come through. He's had some great wins. And Sonny's, you know, he's a good little fighter, good boxer, good mover. So I think with that movement and someone that's an aggressive style, like, I think Bam's pretty aggressive style. I know he switches a little bit. He's got some great knockouts, but, you know, with that constant adjustment and moving in front of somebody, you nullify that and take it away. So can't really pick a winner on that one, but it's good to see world champions boxing world champions.
Just a final one, Shane. I know you've addressed the whole Azim Dalton Smith offer, but catching up with Frank Smith last week, he said and reiterated for them it was a genuine offer. They wanted to try and make the fight. But he also mentioned that you never know if at some point the fight can't happen. If somebody picks up a loss along the way, it might push it back. Any interest beyond, obviously I know Adam's got the European title fight lined up now, but beyond that, do you think we could see it sooner than world level?
Of course, but look at Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. I mean, they starved it far too long. But they still got their big payout at the top. You know, would that have made any sense when they were both at British level? No way. It wouldn't have made them anywhere near as much money. And you don't get many fighters that you can sort of, you know, that's going to be a dance partner in that weight category, you know. And I just don't think, you know, look at the likes of someone like Pierce O'Leary. Like, is he going to get to world level? Like, he's a good fighter. He might get to world level. He's going to have to really grind himself to get to. I think he potentially could go to 135, or, you know, someone like he's a lightweight anyway, Noakes. But, like, you know, those guys are like domestic fighters, and you'd be like, you've almost got to. They're winning now, but you've almost got to take the opportunities sooner. But listen, you never know. Yeah, people would never have thought someone like Chris Billam-Smith, when he started out boxing in Bournemouth, that he was going to get to world level. So, you know, and maybe we did that Reactport fight when they both weren't as established as they could have been, and, you know, it could potentially be there. But I just have a feeling this one needs to be brewed, and I think, you know, they're both being pushed as the faces of their channel, and I think it's great. You know, it's great that that's the case, because that just aligns them, and the one people that will really benefit off it is the boxers, and that's the way it should be.
All right, Shane, I appreciate you stepping in to finish off this interview. I know Caroline's just getting ready to leave now, so thanks for speaking to me, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks, Andy, mate.